morning, friends, and welcome to our morning devotion here on this Wednesday, January 12th. Haven't seen you guys in a while, and that's my apologies. Of course, we had the Christmas break, I had the New Year's break, and then last week I was just crazy busy trying to get the New Year work done at work. So I wasn't able to get the video out, but got this week. So part of my New Year's resolutions, trying to keep up with things, not quite there yet. But I want to talk a little bit about that this morning. I want to talk about the challenges in the new year. I think December for us, that feel good month of Christmas and December and Advent is just fun and exciting. And, we love the season and the music. And then January hits. And yeah, it's kind of that moment when reality kind of comes crashing down around us. And we're prone to deal with something called anxiety. I don't know if you ever dealt with that. Maybe some of you have. I know I have. But anxiety is that moment of distress or time of distress in your life, especially when you ruminate or reflect on things that are just not going well or not going the way you want. Maybe it's for you, it's finances. The bills are coming due from the credit cards of all the holiday spending. And you realize that, hey, we're going to have some troubles with this financially, or maybe it's just the costs of the new year. I know for us, our medical insurance went up this year, food and all kinds of other costs went up as well this year. So maybe it's along those lines, or maybe it's your health. Maybe you take a look at that scale in the morning in January and realize those holiday pounds don't fall off on their own, and we got to start finding something to do to get back to a healthier weight. Or maybe it's relationships. Maybe one of those gatherings over the Christmas holidays or Thanksgiving holidays, you're still dealing with a family member or a friend, an argument or disagreement, or just didn't see eye to eye, and just kind of wrestling and ruminating about, oh man, what should I have done in that situation? Or, oh, what's going on there? And that could be something that we really get anxious about. Anxiety is kind of like an old recording. For those of you who are old enough to remember record players, it's kind of like a record player that just is put on repeat there. It can play it over and over again in our minds and our thoughts, and it can end up being just unhealthy for us on something that we focus on. So our scripture this morning comes from 2 Timothy chapter 1, and this is verse 7. And it says this. It says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." So the challenge for you and for me in this new year is, how do we use this time to turn away from that fear, that anxiety, those old records that play over and over again, and turning towards love, towards self-control, towards a God who loves you and me and really wants what's best for us. And I think for me, first in this moment is giving ourselves permission to push the stop button on those recordings. When we start playing those things in our mind about those relationships, those finances, our health, whatever it is for you, give yourself permission to push stop and say stop. Literally, you can even say stop out loud. I'm not going to be thinking or ruminating or reflecting on this right now. This is not good for me. And instead of focusing on what you can't do, this is a conscious discipline thing. I know that we teach a lot at Anona. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do. What is it in the new year, in this moment right now, that you can do? So if it's finances and you're dealing with, how do I pay these bills? Maybe you can't pay them all off right now, but you can maybe begin to start on a budget. What would it look like to start that new budget for this year, to say, okay, I'm going to start making gradual payments on some of these things, and so I'm going to have to make some changes, step by step, in putting something like that together. Or maybe if it's health, you're not going to drop all those pounds at once, but you can put a plan together on small changes that you can make in your life. Maybe it's small changes in your diet or what you're eating, small changes in some regular exercise, whatever it is for you, but little steps that will help take you towards a bigger goal. Or in relationships, what little step can we take now to maybe begin, maybe not solve the situation or resolve the conflict, but maybe to begin to move closer to one another. A phone call or a visit with the individual, maybe to start that conversation, so you can begin the healing or reconciliation in those moments. And my prayer for you this week is this, is that God is calling you and I to live our lives not in fear, but to live with that spirit of love and strength and self-control. And encourage encourages us to stop in those moments, reflect on what we can do, and begin taking those little steps day by day to help grow us closer to God and closer to others. So until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of God's hand.